We have made it to Thursday, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni with Riley Connell,
Hello.
who hopefully is staying dry from the rain.
Yes, I'm trying my best. It's just a sprinkle right now. But
there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we're kicking off the show with a little bit of a different style. Usually you hear from us a little bit later on, but I'm actually just about to get out the door to do a little bit more work on my story today, which is the Lansing Township Police and Fire Departments getting some new equipment in the village of Dansville, having a couple of infrastructure improvements made to their village hall and a couple of sewage replacements over there. This is all happening because of a grant that comes from the state, which is called the Financially Distressed Cities, Villages, and Townships Grant. So this money is it's a mouthful, but this money goes to these different municipalities, these different communities for projects that they otherwise wouldn't be able to afford. So maybe it's stuff that doesn't fit into the budget that they need some extra help with to be able to get these updates that they really need. So for the Lansing Township Fire Department, that's the replacement of their breathing masks that they use to actually breathe oxygen while they're in there fighting fires and, responding to these dangerous situations. It's a pretty crucial piece of equipment. They have a shelf life of about 15 years, this one piece of equipment they've been using. So they're using these funds to get some new pieces of equipment in. And
save the lives of the people who save our lives.
Exactly, yeah. This is really a crucial piece for them to avoid those really severe cases of smoke inhalation, making sure that they can last long enough for them to get in there and fight a fire and get out. So that's a part of it too, is the new pieces of equipment have more time of breathing to be able to give them. They're also adding what they call a fill station to the fire department station right now, which is where they fill up those tanks. So along with new pieces of equipment, a new station to be able to fill those up and help them to last a little bit longer. And a little bit of that funding is also going to the police department over there in Lansing Township, which is right across the street from the fire department, so they work pretty closely together. They're doing things kind of the old-fashioned way over there right now. They're actually still handwriting paper tickets. So
this will help them a lot.
Oh yes, they're going to be able to get some electronic ticket printers for inside their vehicles.
That's quicker.
So, yeah, I saw some of the physical tickets, and I'm sure a lot of people out there have, remembered getting a paper ticket or seeing somebody else receive a paper ticket. It takes them quite a while to fill out this long sheet with all of this information. So this piece of equipment is, you just plug it in the car, and it'll print out a ticket like most police stations do nowadays. So they're excited to, enter the modern age a little bit with that piece of equipment. And then over in the village of Dansville, they're going to be doing some infrastructure improvements to their village hall, really bring it up to standard, make sure that they can keep doing work inside of that building. And they're also going to be doing some sewage, water main and sewage work over there too. So really just making sure that some of these things in the community are up to standard. So a lot of time-saving things, some quality of life things, and some life-saving things too at the same time. So
yeah, and a lot of the times when you're talking about you need, or we need this fixed, a lot of the times the holdup is the money. It's the grants, it's the funds that they need. I'm sure a lot of people like you can relate when you want to get something for yourself. You're like, well, I have to budget that in. It's not in my budget. I need the money. So when the money comes, this is how we'll, disperse it out. And it's great to see all of the different ways that they're helping out, not just with the firefighters themselves, but also the resources that can help them when they're saving lives.
Absolutely. I learned today that the police department actually operates on a staff of 16 people over there in Lansing Township. So a lot of times they're also waiting for nearby departments to come in and assist them with some of these things too. They're getting some replacement of their on-site drug testing as well. They use these physical tests, these kind of outdated tests for different things like cocaine or other substances. So getting new tests in that are going to be a little bit more exact in what substance they're going to be looking for. So it's just going to help in that regard too with some of the investigative work that they do as well. They can know right off the bat what kind of substance that they're going to be looking at. It's going to be a lot more accurate and easy to use too. So it also helps them kind of have a new path of independence as a department too. They say they spend a lot of time waiting for other departments to come in and assist sometimes with these certain situations, certain pieces of equipment, which they're very thankful for, but would love to be able to get it done themselves right on site. So there's going to be some big changes for them. These aren't in yet. They just found out that they received this grant from the state. So now they have to approve it at their meeting and get started on the process of bringing these new pieces in. So
sounds good.
yeah, you can learn a little bit more about all of this mouthful of information that I've just delivered to you.
You broke it down, and I'm sure there's still a lot to unpack. So
yes,
we'll check
definitely. It's going to be packaged all up at 5 p.m. So News 10 at 5.
All right, we'll see you then, Riley. I'm actually amazed at how much you already know, let alone what you're still about to learn. So.
I've learned a lot, and there's, with a minute and a half, there's not always time to fit it all in. So I'm glad that I get to give a little bit of a sneak peek into some of that information because there's so much of it. But yeah, you'll hear from the firefighter who actually wrote these grants, and him talking about what this means for them to get some of these new pieces of equipment. And I am on my way to the village of Dansville right now, so you will hear from them as well coming up on News 10 at 5.
Sounds good. Thank you, Riley.
Thank
Stay
you.
dry from the rain. Hope you
I
have
will.
an umbrella.
Yes.
Before Studio 10 gets up here real quick, we're going to get Studio 10 up here in just a little bit. But I do want to show you what else is coming up during our 90 minutes of news right before I fully go ahead and tease it. But this is what you're taking a look at right now. So I'll go into what you can expect coming up during our 90 minutes of news in just a little second. We're actually going to get...
Do you want that? Or who do you want?
Let's get you up here because you got to head out soon. You got to get ready. Is that okay, Erin?
Yes.
All right, we got a lot of moving parts over here.
You're so
There's
popular.
a lot of well, so much to talk about. We're here with Nicole now to see what's coming up on Studio 10. We'll get to the 90 minutes in just a little bit.
Studio 10, it's going to be on in less than an hour. And we have a fabulous day in store for you today. MSU is hosting a whole, Michigan Made. It's called Michigan Made Making it in Michigan is what it's called. And it's happening next Wednesday, so they're coming in. So think of any Michigan made product that you've seen on stores at Meijer.
Clorox has a lot of them.
Yes, exactly.
And Keen stores.
Yes, and so there's a whole class and conference and trade all happening next Wednesday. So if you are a small business or make Michigan made products, this is the place for you to be, and we're going to talk a little bit about it.
And like something thoughtful. I know for you, when you talk about giving gifts, you've always said something practical, which you did see in my little gift bag. I was like, okay, Nicole.
Practical, meaningful, and sometimes a gag gift or, something like, a drink or whatever is always fun.
So that's like when you're talking about this event, that's what I think of. Okay, what a great way to find something more thoughtful and unique.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just great too to see, there's so much work that goes between making a product and then getting it in stores, especially at Meijer. So this is the place to go. So Rochelle was able to sit down with them and talk that through. So you definitely want to see how you can make it here in Michigan, literally. And then MSU is also putting on Spring Awakening, which is a musical. And it is a very, I will say, I've never seen it. Actually, I am seeing it tonight. It is kind of an intense show. It takes place in Germany. And this group of teenagers are learning that society is like, we don't like this, you should not grow up. So they're not learning anything. So they're learning on their own. And so they're learning more stuff about themselves, growing up, how to mature, that sort of thing.
And that's the awakening.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
This was going to be like a spring story. No, very.
With the flowers. No. And it is, but it's told with contemporary music. So it's a nice contrast. And they've been able to partner with the Communication of Arts and Sciences College at MSU to create all of the multimedia that you will see on stage. So we're catching up with the cast. We're learning a little bit more about them. We're playing this or that with them because it's fun to kind of get to know the actors before you see them on stage because they're playing a character. And sometimes the characters are not very nice, but the humans are. Yes. The people are. So we want to give
They're
you.
just playing the part.
Yes, we promise. So it's fun to highlight them. So they'll be on our show today as well as it is National Pet Day.
Oh,
Yes.
I need to post a picture now.
Yes, and it's time to treat your pet instead of treat yourself. And we are literally treating our pets by making a treat for them on the show. So we will show you how you can make a treat at home using 3 simple ingredients for your dog. And honestly, when I was looking at the ingredients, I'm like, this kind of tastes good. Is that weird to say? Maybe? I don't know.
No, because I'm not even going to get into it. I'll share one.
Okay, because Anywho, because why would you feed something to your dog if you can't eat it?
I'll just say I've had some friends try dog treats.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the ones that are homemade, okay. Well, we'll see.
They're like Oreos. They look like Oreos.
Yes. Okay, you're not alone. Don't worry. And then we'll get a surprise appearance by one of our own News 10 Plus desk friends' pet, because we have to see if the pet approves of our treat. So definitely keep an eye out for Sparky. Sparky. So
Sparky's a cutie.
yes, Sparky's a cutie, and hopefully he likes our treats.
Yes, because he's a great boy.
Yes. And we are great makers, cookers, whatever.
Great.
Bakers,
Yeah.
creators. I don't know.
All of the above.
All of the above. But definitely tune in at Studio 10 at 3 o'clock for all of this and more. And then plus Claudia is diving deep into a new coffee shop in East Lansing. So really, it's just perfect.
I've been looking for a new coffee shop, so we'll be tuning in.
Yes,
All right.
Definitely. We're super excited. 3
We will
p.m.
See you soon. Thank you, Nicole. Oh, actually, before I put this up, let's share how you can stay tuned with Studio 10. All you have to do is go to @WILX Studio 10 for their socials. You can email them at studio10@WILX.com to see if you want to sponsor with them. If you want to advertise with Studio 10, feel free to do that. And also any giveaways they have going on, you can shoot them an email at studio10@WILX.com. And from there, you can enter a giveaway, see if you win, look out for code words, and if you have any questions, you can reach out over there as well. But to stay up to date with Studio 10, all you have to do is go to their socials, WILX Studio 10, and you can send a link forward. You can rewatch something if you're like me and you're busy during their show, because I got to get ready for First Out 4. Then I go on their YouTube page and I look back. I see what's coming up or what they've already ran. So, for example, Aaron, this new coffee shop that Claudia is going to be looking at.
Yes.
I want to see what that's all about.
I love Studio 10. They do the coolest stuff. It's
They
so
do.
fun. It's always so upbeat, you know, and I think it's a good thing to kind of lead us into the news, remind us there's a lot of good things going on in mid-Michigan. You know, they do a really awesome job.
And just like looking for things to do also.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I learned about so many cool things going on in the area through Studio 10 and all the awesome things going on in the community. Because there's so much. So.
And you're like, I didn't even know about this.
Yes, and I
you
grew
drive
up
around
here.
all the time. Yeah, you grew up
I
here.
grew up here. I
went
grew up
to
in
school
Lansing.
here.
Yeah, college, grade school, all of that. And I'm always learning something new on their show. I love it.
Yeah. Well, we're learning something from you today as well.
Yes. Today I am on News 10 5:30. I attended the I'm trying to think about the right way to phrase this. So, advocates for suicide prevention and awareness, they're at the Capitol today advocating for a couple bills. There's 3 different topics that they're working on addressing. There's more than 3 bills, though. There's a couple bills under each topic. One of the bills they're advocating for is working to increase telehealth services for mental health in rural communities. So think about up north, again, out in our rural communities, we've got quite a few here in mid-Michigan. I've done a number of stories about, shortages of mental health services in rural areas and just across the board, So they're trying to make telehealth more accessible, make it easier for more people to access mental health services, but they are also focusing on veterans' mental health. There is a package of bills that they are advocating for working to improve services and I don't want to misspeak. I'm still, in the writing process for my story, but they're working to, one, make the services more accessible, but from the way I understood it, trying to create a more centralized office for these services, just to make it easier to access. Because, there's a lot of different places you can get help from, a lot of different organizations, but they want to kind of centralize it, is how I understood that. And then the third thing, which they said really goes hand in hand with veterans suicide prevention, was safe storage. So they said, majority of men, they will use a gun to commit suicide, and then, but also, it's one of the most lethal forms of suicide. So they're working to improve safe storage laws, or not improve, but make them
Regulate it better?
Yeah, not I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this again. I'm still in the writing process for my story, but trying to make it so it also can be beneficial for veterans and beneficial for people who may be struggling with mental health issues and that sort of thing. But I spoke with 2 folks who are local members of a national chapter for suicide prevention, and they shared their story about a friend of theirs who they lost to suicide. Really, really powerful story, and they kind of because of that, and other people in their lives, they know that they lost to suicide. They started on this journey of work and started as volunteers, and now they are board members, you know, directors, that sort of thing.
We're going to help save lives of others because of their experience with their friend or loved one dying by suicide. And, you know, we showed this real quick, and I'll pull it up again, our You're Not Alone mental health series. That QR code also brings you to a list of some of those mental health resources across mid-Michigan, but the ones that Erin's talking about, more of that centralized hub for those people. And again, like you said, a tragic event in your life, and that would bring trauma and a lot of emotions, I can only imagine. And then taking that to, you know, propel forward.
Legislation.
And while you're, you know, trying to heal yourself, you want to look at the other people and heal who, you know, have gone through similar experiences. And as tough as it is, I'm not saying that these people ever move on, but keeping even that person alive by helping others. And that's great. Like you said, they're becoming board members, they're volunteering, they're really putting their helping hand out there.
Turning the pain into something positive. I know that's something we kind of say a lot, might be a little overused, but it really is the case here. You know, taking a horrible situation and trying to help others through that pain and that suffering. But yeah, News 10, 5:30, you'll get to learn a little bit more about the folks I spoke to today, the friend that they lost, and then also the bills that they're hoping to push through the legislature to make resources more easily accessible and available.
There we go. Well, that is a great, impactful story, Erin. And thank you. I know it's a sensitive topic, and so appreciate your sensitivity with it too.
Yeah, well, thank you, Taylor. I know we're doing a lot of, you know, You're Not Alone work here at the Say. I actually got to meet, I don't know if you guys saw the story, Mr. David Andrews. I know everybody loves Mr. David Andrews. I personally do. He did a story on veterans' mental health, and I got to meet the man he interviewed for the story, which was really cool. I spoke with him for a while.
He has quite a story too.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yes, everyone does. Everyone's got their own story.
Everyone has a story about mental health and how it's impacted them both, you know, positively, negatively, and it's so powerful to open up and share these stories. So if you want to hear some more stories of the people of Michigan dealing with mental health, News 10, 5:30.
Well, thank you, Erin. We'll make sure to tune in then. And with that, I will show you one more time our You're Not Alone mental health series full screen here, because there are resources out there. And I see Elizabeth, please post numbers and addresses for help. Not all vets have a phone. And I agree, because something I know that David shared that I thought was great info. So that
definitely
would be good information.
Yeah, I'll be sure to include that in the web article. Thank you, Elizabeth, for bringing up that good point. It's kind of hard for us sometimes to, you know, I'm trying to lean into Taylor right now, talking to her microphone. I already took mine off. But it's kind of hard sometimes, you know, to step into the viewer's shoes and see, you know, what, you know, we think is important versus what you think is important. It's always very, very helpful to hear from you guys and what you want to know. So thank you, Elizabeth, for dropping that point. That's very helpful for us.
Yes, and thank you, Erin. We'll see you News 10 at 5:30. Like Erin was saying, if you know anyone who's died by suicide, who is going through anxiety, depression, maybe you're just going through a funk, you've had some personal things factor in your life recently, it's nothing super major, but hey, it's valid to feel those feelings. Know that you're not alone. There are support groups out there for you, whether that is a mental health care professional, right? Someone who is professionally trained in this field to go over the signs and symptoms, to tell you and guide you towards the treatment and the prevention. And so you have the mental health care professionals that are listed on that QR code. Once you bring out your cell phone's camera and you scan it, it'll pull up a link, and you'll see some other links that you can click on that'll direct you to those resources. Otherwise, coming up here, you will see more stories. In fact, we have a few of them that I'll be teasing in just a little bit after Colton's weather, talking about more of the You're Not Alone mental health series, what we have coming up, and speaking with community members on their own journey with anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, stress, anxiety, I know I said that one already, addiction even, or even a self of loss of your identity. Maybe you used to be part of something. I know we talk about student athletes when they stop you know, participating in that sport that they grew up doing most of their life, or their life so far. You feel like you lose a part of yourself because it's something that was part of you for so long. And especially when you have more of that attachment with it and more of those experiences. It can be difficult. So go ahead, scan that QR code. We will be talking about this more a little bit later, but I do want to bring it out to Colton because it's been quite the rainy day outside and it's not stopping.
No, it has been just kind of gross out, I think is the word to be using, because we've seen the rain. It hasn't rained terribly heavy all day long, but there has been some showers, some drizzle, not the best looking weather. In fact, I made a new graphic, if you want to pull it up.
Yes. Hold on, I want to take your name down first. There we go.
Showing today's precipitation across the region. This is brand new, by the way, new things that we can plot in our weather graphic system, and this is one of them. And so you can see that Lansing is closing in on a 1/2 inch of rain. Ann Arbor is at 1 inch of rain right now, so it has been very rainy today. I don't need to tell you that, but we still have some showers that are around right now, and you can see the steady rain now moving through parts of Calhoun County, Eaton County, Ingham County towards Lansing. Seeing some of this rain, but I want to zoom this out.
It's like a parade of rain.
It is, and it's just kind of gloomy. And the main area of low pressure is still off to our south, so it eventually will be making its way, probably tracking somewhere near Cleveland, maybe closer to Toledo, kind of up into Ontario. But we're all in the moisture. You know, one of the things that I've been thinking about with this system in particular, and just a sign of the times, is that this is a favorable track if it was colder for us to get snow.
Ooh, no.
But we're not seeing snow because it is obviously spring, and it's a sign that our seasons are changing and we are getting into the warmer weather because we're not seeing snow with the system. We're seeing rain, but certainly does not make the weather feel any better than what it has been today. So the chance for rain will continue to be in the forecast. There is some possibility that we see a bit of a lull in the rain. That would be good news for the Lugnuts game tonight in downtown Lansing. There could be a bit of a lull in the rain before we see more showers move in later on this evening. But either way you look at it, if you have any plans tonight, have the rain gear with you. We'll likely see the showers around. You can see that right now in our 127 Skycam.
I can see how if it were warmer, how that would be snow. It almost looks like snow, but that is rain.
Yeah, this is rain, and you can certainly see that the road is wet.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, if this was a little bit, well, a lot colder, we're in the 40s and 50s, but if we were 20 degrees colder, we would have a whole different story than what we're seeing out there right now. Jackson is also seeing the rain right now, very gloomy looking across the region, and current temperatures are only around 50 degrees, and we'll actually keep those temperatures in that same ballpark. Those temperatures have not moved much at all throughout the day today, so they've kind of stuck in the 40s and 50s as these showers have moved on through. So looking at the hour-by-hour forecast, there's a bit of that lull that's coming later on this evening and into the afternoon, but likely what will happen is that we'll see some more rain come in this evening and into tonight as the area of low pressure kind of pivots its way through the region. Tomorrow we'll start off with a few showers around, and then we'll keep the rain chances in the forecast all of tomorrow. It probably won't be until after dinner time tomorrow that the rain finally begins to move away, and then we should dry out Friday night, and then the weekend should start off on a drier note. So it's going to take some time, but we'll get rid of the rain here probably tomorrow. So we still have a ways to go before it's all done. And one thing too with the system is that we're going to see some pretty strong wind gusts develop with this. Likely not terribly strong today, gusting anywhere between about 15 to 25 miles per hour. But as we head into tonight, coming in from the north, we'll likely start to see wind gusts over 30. And then tomorrow, a very windy day, but I would say probably early afternoon is when we'll have the strongest winds, and that's when we may see wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. So if tomorrow's trash day for you, protect those trash cans because they may be in your neighbor's yard.
I'm down.
By the time you get into tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a very windy day, I do think, and maybe some wind gusts close to 45 miles per hour. Once you start getting wind gusts that high, you could be talking about some, minor tree damage and things like that. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I don't expect anything major with that or anything widespread, but it is going to be a very windy day tomorrow. So that's another thing about this system that we'll have to contend with when it comes to the next about 24 hours or so. But as we look ahead to the weekend, we will be tracking some sunshine that returns on Saturday, looking like a really nice day for April, 59 degrees. I really wanted to put 60. But I held off. I put 59. We'll see. Maybe we'll adjust it up to 60. But it's going to be a very nice day nonetheless. And then on Sunday, there is a chance of seeing a few showers. There's going to be a system that comes in late Saturday night into Sunday, but that only has a chance for rain early in the day Sunday, as temperatures will likely be in the lower 70s. So we do warm up in a very big way. And I think by Sunday afternoon, the weather is going to be cooperating. And I think the nicest day moving forward is probably going to be Monday.
Ooh.
Mostly sunny and temperatures in the 70s.
Love it.
So I'll show you the 10-day temperature trend here because it does show a lot of warm air that's coming next week. So we're stuck in the 50s today, tomorrow, and Saturday for the most part. But then there that is. That's 5 days in a row.
That's looking good.
With highs in the lower 70s. Very unusual for this time of year. The average high is 56, so enjoy it. There are some signs that by the time we get towards the end of next week and into next weekend that we will cool down again. So that's why it's important to enjoy it. Now, there will be some opportunities at seeing some rain through this as well. I'd say there's a chance on Tuesday. There's also a chance on Wednesday. And also a chance on Thursday.
Oh,
So,
man, April showers was not kidding about that.
so I really think that Monday is probably the driest day overall with those temperatures in the 70s. So hopefully you can get outside and enjoy it. An early taste of more spring weather, but I think we'll take it. And it's going to be pretty nice as we head into this upcoming week. But don't forget today, by the way, our first Alert Weather special Path to Preparedness is airing at 4:30 this afternoon. So right between First at 4
Oh,
and
yes.
News 10 at 5. You can watch it today. It's also going to be streaming, which is super exciting as well. At 4:30. Lots of great information in there, all four of us from your First Alert Weather team put together stories to put in this thing. A lot of great useful information about tornadoes. We talk about the Williamston tornado from this past year. We also get into climate change and its effect on things. We also talk about the warm winter and how the warm winter is going to play into what we're going to see this coming summer. I did a story about how the warm winter is going to affect the Great Lakes, literally the lakes themselves, because a lot of people think there's going to be big implications, so we kind of break that down too. So there's a lot of interesting things in there. Please tune in at 4:30. It also airs at other times as well, but the first airing is today at 4:30, so make sure you tune in for that. Mark your calendars, set your timers.
Hey, just stay tuned in after First at 4.
Yeah, just leave the TV on, give it a watch, and it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, it will. All right. Well, I know you all worked very hard on that.
Yes.
You've worked for weeks on it. Talking to different community members, going to different areas across mid-Michigan, even just Michigan. So you guys have worked extremely hard on this.
Yes, and our producer Matt has also worked really hard on it.
Shout out to Matt on the weather special as well. Yes.
So
He's excited.
always a lot of work that goes into them, so we hope you tune in today at 4:30.
Yes, but you can catch Colton at 3 o'clock on Studio 10.
Yep, I'll be in Studio 10. Lots of fun planned for Studio 10, as always.
As
and then
always.
we'll
And
also
Sparky.
and Sparky.
And Sparky.
And then First at 4, and then our weather special. So make sure you tune in.
And then our 90 minutes of news. We have a packed full day for all of you. So make sure you tune in. I know that Chris is saying, rain, rain, go away. Yep.
I think we all agree with that.
Yes.
Well, we
Agreed.
kind of needed the rain. We've been seeing some high fire danger because of the fact that there was no snow. So the ground is not near as wet. But obviously adding 1 to 2 inches of rain like we've been seeing is a lot. But we don't really expect major flooding from this. However, I would suspect a lot of people's backyards or ditches and things like that are probably pretty full. So just
I always get worried about the Red Cedar River. Being a student, at MSU back in the day.
it doesn't take much for that to flood.
No, and then there's people kayaking everywhere, and then no one can drive on the streets, and
Yeah.
it's just a
I don't
whole thing.
expect anything major with
All
the
right,
Red Sea.
that's good. We'll see you at 3 o'clock, and here is the First Alert Weather app, so you can stay up to date with our First Alert Weather team.
Yep, it's free in the Google Play and App Store, and we post updates in there all day long. You can also see the radar in there, which is super useful. So download the News 10 First Alert Weather app and watch the weather special at 4:30.
Yes, and here is that one more time for you all. Again, today at 4:30 p.m., right after First at 4. You can watch the hard work that all of our meteorologists have put together. That's Andy Provenzano, Colton Cichoracki, Darren Rockel, and Justin Bradford. All four of them working extremely hard on talking to different people across our community and talking about how you can get prepared when severe weather comes, and even just talking about the weather trends that we've seen recently and the patterns, and breaking it all down for you so that you have a clear understanding when you're listening to their forecasts, when weather is, and more severe weather is happening. Weather's always happening, but when more severe weather is happening, you have a better understanding of what to do going forward. So again, today at 4:30, make sure to tune in. But we want to share what else is coming up before 4 o'clock. So today, for First at 4, we are talking about AI revolution designing house. And so in place of Mid-Michigan Matters today, talking about this story. And this will really help you understand how AI is going to be changing the blueprints of houses. And you know, we're talking a lot about the housing market, the National Association of Realtors also, and trying to help out the market with buyers and sellers and bringing, you know, all of those mortgage rates down and figuring all of that out. So tune into First at 4 to see how AI could potentially be helping the blueprints of houses and going forward, just all of the other advances AI can do. Coming up, News 10 at 5 today. This rain may have you dreaming of fishing trips in our Great Lakes state. And now there's a new, easier way to get your fishing license. We'll tell you all about the changes coming up today on News 10 at 5. Coming up, News 10 at 5:30, we take you to the Ingham Student Art Exhibit in downtown Lansing, where K through 12 students are competing to have their work displayed for a year. That's so exciting for those students. I'm sure the parents are proud of them as well. So we'll tell you more about that student art exhibit and the Ingham Student Art Exhibit happening through downtown Lansing for the whole year. That'll be News 10 at 5:30. Make sure to tune in. And then finally, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is urging the federal government to create new relief options for businesses impacted by the lack of snow. Our Capitol correspondent, Zachariah Wheaton, will have the very latest coming up on News 10 at 6. And so those are all of the stories coming up for First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. We're going to bring Ann Emmerich up here in just a second to talk about what she is doing tomorrow on Investigate TV Plus at 1 p.m. So if you've heard us on News 10 today at 11, you've heard, Investigate TV Plus, our little teases for them, getting you ready for what's to come at 1 o'clock. And so you get to hear the different stories. And of course, tomorrow, Friday, we'll just say Friday so that you don't get confused. On Friday of this week, you can tune in at 1 o'clock, which is typically when Investigate TV Plus airs. And Ann Emmerich will also be doing a story on that. So we're going to hear more on what the story is that she is talking about and that is being featured. Ann, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Nice
we have the weather alert up there. That's important. Make sure to tune in. But
all right.
yes, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, very good.
Happy
Staying out of it.
Thursday.
Yeah, happy Thursday. We're almost done with the week.
I know. Well, it's
No,
good
yeah.
to see you.
Good to see you too.
I'm excited. Another one of my pieces is going to be featured on Investigate TV Plus, which is our Gray Television national broadcast of some of the best stories around the country that fit that profile of Investigate TV.
Right.
And this one is about Jared Barron. He is from the Hazlet area. He is working to get his attorney's license back. He suffered from addiction when he was a young attorney, and it really took him to rock bottom. And the story really will make you look at homeless people in a different light, because his addiction took him to living under a bridge and looking in dumpsters for food. But he is okay now. He has recovered. He has regained his life and his young family back, and he's working to get his law license back. But his story is one that I think we all need to pay attention to. All of us have someone in our lives, or maybe ourselves, that have struggled with addiction, and it really can take you to places you don't want to go. And he really has turned into a resource in our community. He works for Families Against Narcotics of Ingham County. He serves on the board there and is really involved in the recovery community here in mid-Michigan. So I feel honored that he was sharing his story with us here at Channel 10.
And that's a deep story to connect with too.
It is. It really is. And you know, it really just shines a light on how when you're strong and you have the right support system around you, you can overcome anything. And there is always hope.
Yes.
Always hope.
There's always hope.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a great message, Ann. And I don't know anyone better who could tell this story. I mean, you have the empathy there, and you are such a great storyteller. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I know you put a lot of, intent when it comes to this story too, and being sensitive with it, and making sure that you are really sharing the story, and from his point of view too. It's his story, and that's cool that you're able to share that.
It is. You know, I mean, I love hearing people's stories, and I love telling people's stories. And if someone were to tell my story, I would hope that they would tell it with empathy. I mean, we're all human beings, right? And we can appreciate each other's struggles and our victories, and those are some of the best stories around to tell.
And I think our struggles is what makes us appreciate our victories even more.
That's
right. We hear about that. It sounds like a broken record, a cliche, but that really is.
It's a very relatable story, and he was very brave to share it with us. And so you can see it on Investigate TV Plus tomorrow at 1 o'clock on WILX.
Yes, sounds good. Make sure to tune in. I know we have this You're Not Alone right here, and part of Ann's story, yes?
Yes,
here.
this video that you're seeing right here is the bridge. We met Jared right under the bridge where he stayed during the day because the shelters were closed. He stayed in the homeless shelters in the Lansing area at night. But during the day, homeless people don't really have a place to go, so they stay in various places, and one of them is there on the Lansing River Trail under the bridge, and you can see some people's belongings up there. It was kind of emotional for him to go back and see it, but you know, he was very respectful to the people, and we were as well. There were people sitting under there, and they all have a story, and it doesn't mean they're not educated or there, you know, isn't support there to be had. It's just they're in a really dark place, and so I don't know, it warmed my heart that he was able to share that with us.
I think one of the things, you know, we see it all the time, you know, we have a huge homeless population around mid-Michigan, and so even driving and seeing that, sometimes I know you hear other people like, well, how does that happen? And I mean, not until you're in that situation or you hear it from someone who has gone through that experience. And yes, they're brave to tell their story, and not just tell their story, but share their story to lift others up too. It's not even just for themselves, which is already such a self-respect to themselves, but in helping others do that. I just get
By the
chills that means so
by the
much.
time someone ends up homeless, you know, they really hit rock bottom and don't know what to do. And a lot of them are dealing with mental health issues, lack of care, and addiction. And so, you know, Jared, you'll see his story tomorrow, and I don't want to give it all away because it is a great story. But he was able to find that support and take advantage of people who've been there that could help pull him out of this hole and help him be the man he is today. And now he has 2 young sons and is embracing life as a father. So it's really an amazing story.
And I'm sure that creates a new perspective in your life too, and being able to appreciate different people through walks of life.
That's right. And you know, and his work with Families Against Narcotics of Ingham County, and I keep looking down at my note because I don't want to say it wrong, they really do a lot of good in our community. They are there to help families who might have someone suffering from addiction and they don't know where to turn, they don't know what to do, they don't know how to handle it. It's a very complex issue. It's hard, especially if you have a teenager or a young person. Like Jared, you know, his family was there to help him, but he did not want that support at that time because he was so deep into his addiction. So those resources are there, and if someone is listening today and they know someone who's struggling, I urge them to go on the FAN website, contact them, email them. They have open arms and are ready to help, and Jared is a part of that group, and is you know, they all have experience with family members or experience themselves, and they can really do a lot of good in our community. People just need to know about them.
They are. And they are spreading that good. And like you said, FAN, the Families Against Narcotics.
Of Ingham County.
Of Ingham County. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that great story. And again, Friday at 1 p.m. on Investigate TV Plus, you can watch Ann's featured story on this, and just, I mean, incredible to go from. And you hear a lot of stereotypes too when people, you know, think of a lawyer. They think, you know, well, they must work hard. They have their life together, and you forget that everyone is. You don't forget that people are human, but you know, we're all human beings, and we all make mistakes. We all have our hardships, and that's life.
Addiction doesn't care if you're rich or you're poor or you're educated or you're not.
Yeah.
It's a mental health struggle, and we just need to look at it that way. And it goes across all socioeconomic groups.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's why you're sharing the story.
That's right. That's
All
right. Thank you,
Anything-
Taylor,
yes,
for
thank you,
highlighting it. I
Ann.
appreciate you.
Yes, well, thank you for being up here and highlighting it and sharing that story. Is there anything else that you'd like to say while up here?
Just happy Thursday. The weekend's almost here, and sunshine is coming, right?
Yes, it's on the way. Make sure to tune in Studio 10 so you can hear Colton say that. We'll see you soon, Ann. Thank you very much.
Taylor.
All right, well, one more time. Well, with that rain, let me give you a live look over Michigan State University real quick. And you are, in fact, seeing all of the raindrops on the camera. It's kind of hard. You have to look past the raindrops to see campus. It looks a little fuzzy there. But yes, the roads are looking very wet outside. It is actively raining right now in Lansing. And again, going to the, let me take another little camera look here in just a second. We'll see what it's looking like in Jackson. Jackson, not any raindrops on the camera there, but you are seeing that the roads are in fact wet. So no matter where you're going today or tomorrow, know that that rain is continuing throughout the day. And Colton Cichoracki will share more on when the rain will come to an end at 3 o'clock. On Studio 10, which is in just under 20 minutes here. But before we head out, I do want to tie back into Ann's story and also into Aaron Bowling's story, which is coming up News 10 at 5:30. And Emmerich's story coming up Friday at 1 p.m. being featured on Investigate TV+. I want to throw that out there again. But again, no matter what you're going through, I know sometimes it's hard to admit what you're going through too. I know sometimes, you know, when I hear friends or family members going through a really tough time, and then I myself am going through a tough time, I'm like, well, mine's not as bad because, you know, they're going through something more traumatic. And that should not dismiss what you're feeling, because your feelings are valid too. So no matter what you're going through, know that your feelings are valid. It is okay to not be okay. And there are resources out there for you when you're ready to go out there and seek that help and receive that help, right? You have to be open and ready to receive. Sometimes you could have all the resources, and you know, it's up to you to make that move. And so it's your choice, but know that you're not alone. And there are those resources ready for you when you're ready. I'll give you one more quick live look outside. We'll take this one outside at the raindrops falling near the Falcon Cam right there on top of Michigan State University. I forget exactly where this is again. Oh, on top of Spartan Stadium. There you go. I don't know how I forgot that. But anyways, the rain is coming down. That falcon has got its back to the rain, and it is protecting 4 of its eggs. So let me see if I can get this little thing up here real quick. Is this the right one? Oh, and it's not pulling up. Okay, so that must not be the right one. Anyways, that falcon has 4 eggs that are laid down right now. Super cute. And so at some point we'll be able to show you what those little eggs are looking like when the mom hops off. But we're going to hop off here because Studio 10 gets started in just over 15 minutes, followed by First at 4 and our 90 minutes of news. If you are heading out today, be careful on the roads. We've reported accidents. There may be slick conditions. Also, I know there's a lot of construction projects across mid-Michigan. We are in construction, almost summer season. So just be on the lookout for that. And keep an umbrella on you as well, because that rain is just going to keep on coming. But other than that, make sure you're staying with us and tuned in here on News 10. We hope you have a great rest of your Thursday.